It's the Rock and Roll Whiskey Show, the show where we talk about a rock and roll album, then pair it with just the right whiskey. Now here's your host, Mark Donner.
Last week on the podcast, I introduced the first 13 songs of our special October Spooky Halloween playlist, which I've now named October Spirits. You'll find it under that title with the subtitle Halloween Top 40 from the Rock and Roll Whiskey Show, out on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube Music. We'll have the links in the show notes too. Because that list came out on Friday the 13th, the songs were, for the most part, centered around themes of superstition, death, murder, bad luck, and all kinds of fun stuff like that. We also mostly stayed in the realm of classic rock and roll from the 70s and a couple from the 80s. However, the centerpiece of the list was a nearly 100-year-old blues song by Robert Johnson, Crossroad Blues. You can listen to last week to hear more about that. I won't go into that today because we've got plenty more to talk about. But today we're turning the volume up to 11 on our Marshalls and making everything just a little bit louder and heavier, maybe a little scarier. And what better way to embrace this eerie season than with the pulsating rhythms, haunting melodies, and dark themes of some heavy metal. Now, metal in its various incarnations has always shared a deep kinship with the mysterious, the supernatural. From its very inception, heavy metal has been characterized by its exploration of darker themes, tales of the occult, mythical creatures, existential dread, and evil. The genre's theatricality, with its grandiose guitar riffs, thunderous drums, and powerful vocals, lends itself naturally to the spirit of Halloween. It evokes the same primal emotions like adrenaline, fear, excitement, a touch of the macabre. In this portion of the playlist, we've curated a selection that epitomizes this synergy, melding the raw energy of rock and roll with the spectral ambiance of October's spookiest night. And in the middle of the podcast today, I'm going to give you a whiskey pairing for this portion of the playlist that you can enjoy while you're getting into the spooky metal music. Now, we used to wait until the end to do that, but moved it up a little bit. Why wait that long to enjoy some whiskey? So let's not wait any further and start on the playlist. Track number 1 is Helloween from Helloween. Now, you might not know Helloween, but you should. Helloween's Helloween is a masterclass in thematic power metal. It clocks in at over 13 minutes of epic storytelling, and it's a musical journey that narrates the spirit and essence of Halloween night, from playful trick-or-treaters to darker, more sinister undertones that loom as the night progresses. The song is the mystique, the magic, and the mischief associated with that October 31st holiday. With its haunting melodies, its atmospheric interludes, and dramatic crescendos, it perfectly captures the duality of Halloween, both its childlike wonder and its potential for eerie occurrences. As such, it's a quintessential opener for this metal portion of the playlist. Now, just like last week, my disembodied voice AI friend will chip in here and there, helping to enhance what we're talking about by reading some featured lyrics from each of the songs in our playlist. Take it away, voice.
Like the good old Charlie Brown. You think Linus could be right? The kids will say it's just a stupid lie. But watch out. Beware. Listen. Take care. In the streets on Halloween, there's something going on. No way to escape the power unknown. In the streets on Halloween, the spirits will arise. Make your choice. It's hell or paradise.
And now we're on to one of Iron Maiden's most iconic tracks. It's a track that is played live in every Maiden show to this day since it came out in the early 90s, and it's loved by fans around the world, talking about Fear of the Dark. Fear of the Dark delves into the primal human fear of the unknown, especially what might lurk in the shadows when the lights go out. Bruce Dickinson, that's Iron Maiden's singer, his evocative vocals paired with the song's creeping guitar melodies and harmonies create an atmosphere of suspense and unease. The lyrics emphasize a paranoia-driven imagination where every rustling leaf or creaking floorboard can escalate into nightmarish scenarios. This song resonates with anyone who's ever been afraid of what's hiding just beyond their vision in the darkness, making it a great addition to this playlist.
Have you run your fingers down the wall? And have you felt your neck skin crawl when you're searching for the light? Sometimes when you're scared to take a look at the corner of the room, You've sensed that something's watching you. Fear of the dark. Fear of the dark. I have a constant fear that something's always near.
Ozzy Osbourne, often dubbed the Prince of Darkness, delivers a harrowing tale of insanity and inner torment, Diary of a Madman, the title track to his album, Diary of a Madman. The song's melancholic melodies and chilling lyrics paint a picture of a mind unraveling, lost in its own delusions and haunted by inner demons. The orchestral arrangements and guitar work of Randy Rhoads add layers of gothic horror, reminiscent of a haunted mansion or a tragic cursed soul. The overall ambiance of the song, combined with its narrative about the fine line between genius and madness, makes it a poignant and unsettling piece for the eerie vibes of the October season.
A sickened mind and spirit. The mirror tells me lies. Could I mistake myself for someone who lives behind my eyes? Will he escape my soul? Or will he live in me? Is he trying to get out? Or trying to enter me? Voices in the darkness scream away my mental health. Can I ask a question to help me save me from myself?
A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors, is my favorite of the Nightmare on Elm Street movie series. I think it's a lot of people's favorite. And marrying the world of rock with horror cinema, Dokken's Dream Warrior is forever tied to that movie and the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise as a whole. The song speaks to the film's themes of confronting and battling one's nightmares with a defiant chorus that resonates as a battle cry against the shadowy terrors of the dream world. The lyrics allude to the nocturnal terror induced by Freddy Krueger, and the music video even features scenes from the movie. The connection to one of the horror genre's most iconic franchises makes Dream Warriors an essential rock anthem for Halloween festivities. It's a really good, catchy 80s pop metal song. Great vocals by Don Dokken, great guitar work by George Lynch. It's just a cool song.
When I close my eyes, I realize you'll come my way. I'm standing in the night alone, forever together. We're the Dream Warriors. Don't want to dream no more. We're the Dream Warriors. And maybe tonight you'll be gone.
Now, when you get a Halloween playlist that's got metal songs in it, you usually get some Rob Zombie, and you usually get either like Dragula or Living Dead Girl, something like that. I decided to go to the album Educated Horses for a different spooky zombie song. And Rob Zombie is a name synonymous with the fusion of horror and rock and roll. An American Witch is a mesmerizing dive into the world of witchcraft, superstition, and the darker recesses of American folklore. The track pulses with an eerie energy driven by heavy guitar riffs and Zombie's signature gravelly vocals, which tell a tale of a woman accused of witchcraft and the terror that surrounds her. It explores the theme of societal fear, an age-old propensity to brandish what is misunderstood or feared as quote-unquote witchcraft. The song's entrancing chorus, haunting chants, and mystical undertones make it impossible to ignore its spooky allure. Zombie's penchant for macabre imagery and dark storytelling ensures that American Witch fits like a glove in any spooky playlist. It conjures up visions of shadowy figures, moonlit rituals, ancient curses, perfect for setting the tone for a night of chilling tales and supernatural adventures.
Alone on the hill and ready to die. Cancer of darkness blacken eye. The mark of the wolf and the sign of the calf. Angels bleed down above the raft. The end of the American Witch.
Danzig's Her Black Wings unfurls the mind like a dark tapestry of gothic romance and foreboding imagery. A haunting ode to a femme fatale figure, the song weaves a tale of a seductive yet menacing entity whose black wings suggest a fallen angel or malevolent siren. Glenn Danzig's powerful, brooding vocals underscore the allure and the danger this enigmatic figure poses, luring the listener into her dark embrace. The eerie guitar riffs and the song's somber tempo further amplify its macabre atmosphere. The lyrics paint vivid images of graveyards, moonlit skies, and a deadly romance, themes that are emblematic of this Halloween season. With its chilling narrative and atmospheric sound, Her Black Wings stands as a quintessential track for a Halloween playlist. It's a song that invokes the mysteries of the night, the allure of the unknown, and the age-old dance between light and darkness.
Blackest of the black, darker than night. Come to me, my bleeding light. See, she comes. She comes now, enter oblivion. Yea, here she is, harder than life, in my arms. See, she there, entwined with love. Unclean she is, and she comes down to me, and she offers me sleep under her black wings.
Dark, gothic, and dripping with atmospheric moodiness, Black Number 1, in parentheses, Little Miss Scareall from Typo Negative, is a staple in the goth rock genre and a fitting inclusion for any playlist like this. Sung with the deep baritone of Peter Steele, the late Peter Steele, who passed away several years ago, unfortunately. This song is an homage to gothic subculture, replete with references to witches, dyed black hair, and the romanticism of the macabre. With its eerie keyboard melodies, a femme fatale with a penchant for all things dark and a love for Helloween, this track exudes a vampiric allure, making it a captivating listen during the witching hour of All Hallows Eve.
Now it's All Hallows Eve. The moon is full. But will she trick or treat? I bet she will. She will. Happy Halloween, baby. She's got a date at midnight with Nosferatu. Oh, baby, Lily Munster, ain't got nothing on you. Loving you was like loving the dead. Was like loving the dead.
Now, in case you're thirsty, allow me to offer you a drink. Straight from the devil. In this case, the devil's none other than the James B. Beam Distilling Company. You may have heard of the Angel's Share, which is the portion of every barrel of whiskey that evaporates and is gone forever into the wind. In warmer climates, like you'll find in whiskey-producing U.S. states like Kentucky and Tennessee, you lose a lot of the barrel, good portion of it anyway, to the angels, depending on how long it sits in there. You also get a good amount of interaction with that barrel, and that's what gives it, particularly bourbons, it's what gives it its character and its extra taste that isn't found in other spirits. Jim Beam tells us that there's a small portion of that whiskey that remains in the barrel when it's emptied, trapped in the charred new oak, never to be seen again in many cases. Spooky, right? Jim Beam's marketed that bit of whiskey as the Devil's Cut. They claim to take that Devil's Cut and blend it with other Beam whiskey that they say is extra aged. Jim Beam's marketing of Devil's Cut is interesting. They'll tell you right on their label that it's a complex spirit made for true whiskey connoisseurs. That's a paraphrase because I don't have the bottle in front of me, but something like that. And much like the eerie allure of our October Spirits playlist, Jim Beam's Devil's Cut Bourbon aims to embody a unique character that resonates with the season. After all, October is a month draped in mystique, where tales of the supernatural reign supreme and the boundary between our world and the unknown feels tantalizingly thin. Despite the way they've positioned it, Jim Beam Devil's Cut also feels tantalizingly thin. The name Devil's Cut conjures images of clandestine rituals, ancient alchemy, and dances with darkness. I said that with kind of a weird accent, and I'm not going to take it out. This bourbon's process, where the trapped whiskey in the wood of the barrel is extracted and blended with longer aged whiskey, could be said to reflect the essence of our playlist, drawing out the hidden, the mysterious, and melding it with the familiar to create something that's rich, complex, and evocative. Now, while Devil's Cut's wrapped in lore, at its heart, it's pretty much just Jim Beam. It's a really cool name with an interesting story, but it's Beam with a little extra oaky flavor in it, basically. Now, don't get me wrong, it's good. It's just fine. Particularly at its price point of about $25. It's just fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all, and it's easy to drink. But at that price point, if you want a Beam product, spend a few more bucks and go for the Knob Creek, or the Old Grandad Bonded is around that price too, $23-24. I don't know if it's the one you should get, but it's a pretty good one. Let's peel back the layers though and exercise the Devil's Cut. See what I did there? You'll recognize the classic Beam notes that have made it a household name. Hints of vanilla, caramel, that warming rye spice, a little nuttiness, and there's an ominous whisper of something deeper, an added depth of that charred oak that has supposedly been trapped in, giving it that touch of the enigmatic. Getting a little dramatic and spooky because that's the time of the year we're in. But much like the songs on our playlist, this bourbon is about an experience. It's pretty accessible, it's not too complex, and it's got a fun story, and we like stories. So as you continue to immerse yourself in the haunting, heavy rhythms of this portion of our October Spirits playlist, have fun with Devil's Cut. Let it dance on your palate and celebrate the spirit of Helloween. Now let's get back to the list with a great thrash metal power ballad from the legendary Pantera. Cemetery Gates is a melancholic and powerful exploration of love, loss, and the afterlife. With Phil Anselmo's haunting vocals and Dimebag Darrell's mournful guitar solos, one of Dimebag's best, by the way, and that's saying a lot, the song paints a vivid picture of a soul tormented by the passing of a loved one, pondering the mysteries of life and death. Its themes of grief, eternal love, and the possibility of an afterlife resonate deeply with the spirit of Halloween, a time when the veil between the living and the dead is believed to be at its thinnest, as we just talked about with the whiskey. The song's juxtaposition of heavy metal riffs and ethereal, almost ghostly melodic passages make it a chilling yet poignant addition to any Halloween-themed rock and roll playlist.
And when she died, I should have cried and spared myself some pain. You left me incomplete, all alone as the memories still remain, the way we were, the chance to save my soul, and my concern is now in vain. Believe the word. I will unlock my door and pass the cemetery gates.
Continuing with our thrash section of the playlist now, often referred to as the Big Four of thrash metal: Anthrax, Metallica, Slayer, and Megadeth. Not necessarily in that order, but that's the order in which the songs are going to come in the playlist, so that's the order they're in today. These four bands, each with their own distinct sound and style, emerged in the 1980s and quickly became trailblazers of the thrash movement. Fusing the speed and aggression of punk with the technicality and heaviness of traditional metal, they birthed a new wave of metal. That's a phrase that's reserved for the new wave of British heavy metal, but it's definitely a new style of metal, anyway, that influenced countless bands in lots of different subgenres that came after them. The songs frequently delve into dark, introspective, and at times supernatural themes, making a lot of their tracks good candidates for this playlist, and I've selected four, starting with Anthrax's Among the Living. Inspired by a Stephen King novel, The Stand, Among the Living is an aggressive and fast-paced track that delves into the world of post-apocalyptic society. The song paints a chilling picture of a world decimated by a plague and the emergence of a demonic figure, Randall Flagg. With its references to dark forces, societal collapse, and haunting imagery, the track captures an eerie, unsettling vibe that's synonymous with Halloween.
He's seeing, he's calling. His legacy he's spawning, he's coming, corrupting. Among the living. I'm the walking dude. I can see all the world. Twist your minds with fear. I'm the man with the power. Among the living. Follow me or die.
On to Metallica. Drawing inspiration from the eldritch horrors of H.P. Lovecraft, The Thing That Should Not Be, from Master of Puppets, is a haunting ode to the ancient, malevolent entities that lurk in the depths of the ocean and the corners of the human psyche. The song's slow, brooding tempo, combined with James Hetfield's grim lyrics, evoke a sense of impending doom and terror of the unknown. The monstrous riffs and the tale of a creature that defies comprehension makes it a song that perfectly captures the unsettling atmosphere of a dark and stormy October night.
Crawling chaos underground. Cult has summoned twisted sound. Out from ruins once possessed. Fallen city, living death. Fearless wretch, insanity. He watches, lurking beneath the sea. Timeless sleep. West has been upset, he awakens. Hunter of the shadows is rising. Immortal. In madness, you dwell.
Next is the title track to Slayer's album, South of Heaven. And with South of Heaven, Slayer delves deep into the abyss of human malevolence and the decay of moral values. The song's lyrics depict a world where evil runs rampant and any hope of redemption seems distant. Its chilling introduction, combined with Tom Araya's haunting vocals, creates a soundscape of despair and darkness. As the title suggests, this song is an exploration of the infernal, the spaces that lie just beyond the realms of the divine, making it a fitting anthem for a night when ghouls and specters walk the earth.
The root of all evil is the heart of a black soul, a force that has lived all eternity, a never-ending search for a truth never told, the loss of all hope and your dignity, chaos rampant, an age of distrust, confrontations, impulsive habitat, on and on, south of heaven.
On to number 4 of the big 4, we've got Megadeth with In My Darkest Hour from the album So Far, So Good, So What. A poignant track, In My Darkest Hour is a raw expression of grief, sorrow, and the isolation that stems from personal loss. This song is characterized by melancholic riffs and Dave Mustaine's visceral vocals that convey the depth of his anguish. While not supernatural in theme, the sheer emotional intensity and the dark atmosphere of the track make it resonate with the somber and reflective aspects of Helloween, a time when many remember and honor the departed. Now, as I said, this is probably not the most supernatural or spooky of Megadeth songs, but it's got that feeling. It's dark, it's ominous, and it is actually my favorite Megadeth song, so had to include it.
In my hour of need. No, you're not there, and though I reached out for you, wouldn't lend a hand. Through the darkest hour, your grace did not shine on me. Feels so cold, very cold. No one cares for me.
And now to our final song of this portion of the October Spirits playlist. We've got Black Sabbath featuring Ronnie James Dio on vocals with the title track from their album Heaven and Hell, Heaven and Hell. An exploration of the age-old battle between good and evil, Heaven and Hell serves as a philosophical musing on the choices one makes in life and their eternal consequences. Ronnie James Dio's powerful vocals, paired with Tony Iommi's iconic riffs, create a contrasting atmosphere of both celestial grace and infernal doom. The track delves deep into the duality of human nature and the eternal struggle between light and darkness. Its lyrical content, combined with the band's legendary heavy metal sound, establishes an aura of cosmic mystique and spiritual contemplation, making it a fitting piece for Halloween, a time of reflection on life, death, and what lies beyond.
It's heaven and hell, oh well. And they'll tell you black is really white. The moon is just the sun at night, and when you walk in golden halls, you get to keep the gold that falls. It's heaven and hell. Fool, fool, you've got to bleed for the dancer. Fool, fool, look for the answer.
So that's the middle 13 of our list. Let these tracks, plus the ones that came last week, form the backdrop to your Halloween season, whether you're setting the mood for a haunted house, embarking on a midnight drive, or just reminiscing under the glow of a harvest moon. And remember that next week we'll have another 13 songs, followed by a special episode dropping on Halloween Day, October 31st, that adds the last track, number 40, to the playlist. And next week's 13 will be a lot more hard rock and metal. That's just what tends to fit well this time of year for me, for all the reasons we've talked about. And the only difference is I'm focusing on newer music that's come out in the last decade or so, including a few songs that were released in the year 2023, and a lot in 21 and 22 as well, actually. Pretty recent stuff, a lot of it, and that'll give us about 90 years of history in this playlist, which I think is pretty cool. Enjoy your October, friends. See you next week.
Another episode of the Rock and Roll Whiskey Show will be here soon. Be sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Overcast, YouTube, or whatever player you prefer. You can get show notes as well as tasting notes for the featured music and whiskey at rockandrollreclaimed.com. You can also get links to Mark's social media channels at the website. The Rock and Roll Whiskey Show is a production of Rock and Roll Reclaimed. Goodbye. Spooky.